Here is my oxygen concentrator. So happy to finally have this. So basically it's pretty simple. Now we did get the 10 liter, which means that it can go from anywhere from 1 to 10 at the different levels of oxygen. My understanding from reading Dr. Code's book, he recommends a level of 3. So I started off there, but he also recommends using a cannula, which I found, because I get nosebleeds, the cannula was not ideal for me. So I have ended up switching to using an oxygen mask, which is fine. It's still an adjustment, but definitely better. But it also means that I'm not necessarily getting quite as much pure oxygen right in my nose. So I have bumped it up to a level 4 and may go to a level 5 in the future. So what I want to do actually is just turn it on for you, because you can see, because one thing I wanted to know when I got it was how loud it was going to be. It's actually, we've put it into a different room and then we've run it through the cord. You can see this green cable here. The tube is quite long. You can get up to 50 feet, and that's what we ended up getting. So we've got lots of option, and it actually runs through the wall into the bedroom so that I can wear it at night and use it, and it doesn't make so much noise that it keeps me awake. It is a pretty constant noise, but it is definitely loud. And the very first thing that happens when you turn it on is there's a huge loud beep. And then it goes to having an orange light that just means it's prepping, it's getting ready. And then when it's ready, it actually goes to a green light. And if it doesn't, if it goes to a red light or anything else happens, then you know there's something that needs to be done. But generally, it should just go to a green light, and then you know you're ready to go and you can just use it. So I'm going to turn it on just so that you can see what we're dealing with here. So there you can see that it's got the orange light, basically shows that it's getting ready. You may also notice that I've got a cup on there. That is there so that you can have water. If you need the air to be a little bit more humid, then you can actually put water in that cup and it will help to humidify the air a little bit. We did try that, but I found that it actually left water throughout all of the tubing, which was much more difficult to get rid of. So, and of course you do absolutely have to use distilled water. So that's a good idea. But I also found it just wasn't helpful enough to make it worth getting the tubing all soaking wet. So in the end, it's better probably to have a humidifier in your room instead of having that attachment. So it currently has nothing in it, and that's fine. And then you can see it's still getting ready. It does take a little while before it's ready to go green, and then you can actually put your mask or your cannula on and start using it. And there it goes. Now it's green, so it's ready to use. So we'll just turn it off. You can see that it's gone up to the 4 there. So that's what's happening and you can turn that really easily. You can move it around depending on where you want it. And there we go. So that is my oxygen concentrator. It does require some maintenance. There are some filters that need to be cleaned out periodically and then very occasionally replaced as well. But otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory, simple, self-sufficient kind of thing. So it's just a matter of turning it on, making sure the green light goes on, and of course, keeping it in a separate room is a good idea. You can't put it in a closet or anything like that because it's making oxygen from the air. And so it needs lots of air around it. I even like to open the window occasionally, get lots of extra fresh air in, and then that just, generally helps so that you're getting the best quality content here. So don't put it in a closet. Put it in an open room, and preferably not the room you're actually sleeping in unless you have no problem with that kind of noise. It is a pretty constant noise, but it's pretty loud. So, and it's also very warm. So also if you want a warm room, if you especially if you're using the water as well, you're going to have a very warm, wet room. So If you're planning to use the water, then I definitely would recommend have it in a separate room, and also because of the noise and also the heat. I do notice that this room does feel very warm when I come in the morning to turn the machine off because, yeah, it makes some heat when it's running. So it doesn't blow hot air through the tubing. It's actually kind of a cooler air, really. But the machine itself gives off a fair amount of heat. So that's something to be aware of as well, especially if it's in your room. So I hope you found that interesting and helpful, and feel free to comment below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I don't know everything about this, but I know from experience. I know from what I'm doing and what I've read about it. So I also recommend, as I've mentioned, Dr. Code's book if you want to learn more about using oxygen therapy for your MS or other chronic conditions. That would be the book to check out. Thanks for watching, and God bless.